Good morning. Oh, good
Yes.
morning, our people. Yeah, it's the same thing that happened last week. Struggling here. Okay, I'll leave that alone for now. Ụtụtụ ọma, ụmụnne m. Ụtụtụ ọma nọ. Today is August the 31st of 2024. We are definitely happy to have you guys here. Hopefully, everyone has been doing well and continue to help us to share, like, subscribe, all those things that we need to do to get this message across. You can see that, even in Dintike and the Ivy League schools, they are coming out. So the professors are coming out. They are singing our songs, except that, because of their criminal background, they are not able to give credit. But we're happy that they are finally, at least they are choked up to the point that they are now saying the truth in their own fake ways because
They're throwing in the towel.
they're throwing the towel. Okay, they don't believe in Ezoku Bundo, no dollar and pounds wonder. So because of that, they are willing to sell our people for anything at all. They are willing to sell our people for their careers. They are willing to sell our people for their political ambitions. They are willing to do anything. Even when there is one car with one engine and one watch,
Mm.
they will still be willing to drive it. So if that means they have to go and crush our people and make sure every one of us is dead while their children enjoy their best life at the UK, they will do it with no inhibition whatsoever because it was never about you. It has always been about them. The Onwa. We've been hearing the Onwa Obodo. They don't ever want us to get light. They only want to be the Onwa. So they can decide when the lights will come on and when the lights will go off. So, but we are winning this battle, brothers and sisters. Well done for our food soldiers, sisters doing work at home, sharing this good news of liberation for our people, standing up to the bullies because that's what they are. All these criminal renegades, they are all bullies. Bullies against our heritage, bullies against our people, bullies against our survival and our future generations. So, but guess what? Information is power. As long as we have the right information, we will engage these criminals from all over the world. We don't care if they are running World Economic Forum, if they are running Jesus Christ of Nazareth, we will take them down. And that's how serious we are. So welcome to the program. I will allow my sister to add.
Thank you so much, Sister Munachi. Thank you, our wonderful viewers. Early birds, you're already here. We appreciate you. We might not call you one by one, but we say thank you. And those that are stumbling on this video for the first time, you have just stumbled on a video that will give you all the information that can help you connect all the dots, the things that have been happening that, like you say, this does not make sense. On Daughters of Truth, we will make it make sense because we're going to connect everything for you. So please stay tuned, watch till the end. My name is AP. I live in Lexington. Continue to help us to share. We'll pull the first video. You know how we do it, that we try to play all our videos because it helps us when we cut it during the week for the videos to travel on their own. So as you're sharing, calling people to come and join, giving people to come, those that you are arguing with, not argue with them, bring them here. Let's teach them one or two things. Share it, just take a video, throw it for them, say what, see it now, go and watch for yourself and judge for yourself. And then if they need, they can contact us, because sometimes when you're arguing with them, you might not have all the information. Then when they come, we dress them down. That's
I hear you put me away.
what thought. As well as so yeah, why not talk? So we'll continue. We'll join us to share. Thank you so much.
Muhammad. Your name is Ali. Your name is John. Your name is Ian. Do you know what I mean?
When we say culture, as African, we think culture, it can't be changed. Because they've been give us this name, we think we can't change them. No, we are going to change them.
And we talk and complain about racism and we don't even own our own names. We're going and marching on the streets. Other communities, they have all kept the names, the Indian, the Asian, the Arab, Christians. Everyone has their names apart from us. Yes. So how do we expect to demand respect when we don't even own our own names? How do we go and we talk and complain about racism and we don't even own our own names? We're going and marching on the streets, trying to be able to empower ourselves and we don't own our own names. It has to start from there. It has to start from the way we perceive ourselves. The power that we have is from within. And if it is from within, it is our names. Imagine, like you're saying, even for me with the name Eve, it's a unique name here in Australia. You know, no one's really called Eve the way it's spelled, and it's great. But you're a black person and your name is Muhammad, your name is Ali, your name is John, your name is Ian. Do you know what I mean?
When you say
Yep. Our young brother here is asking lots of questions that needs to be answered, and that goes in tandem with our topic for the day. So we're going to continue to play our next video. If you have seen our ad for the week, you would have understand why we are talking about names. Names play a huge role in who you are. Like my name is Monachim Saga. Monachim Saga. I like my name. And actually, my God follows me everywhere. So we'll continue to play the video. And please continue to help us to share.
Yes, please stay tuned. We will tell you a lot of things. We're fully packed. As usual, your name matters, whether as a community, as individual, as a nation.
It's Rubasha here from the Rubasha Family Podcast. I'm keep continue giving you this powerful message for all Africans, youth, old generation. I've been telling you that Africa need, or we have as Africans, to reclaim our names for have a meaning, name for our ancestors. These ideas has been in African minds for long time. Some individual has managed to reclaim their name, to change. A majority, we still have these colonials names, name which not as ours. We have opened a discussion to think and to rethink, to take back our name, to take back our roots, our culture roots. This message is so powerful for young generation to come. You may be sit now, but in the future, you're going to see it, and majority of young African, they've got to take it serious and they change their names. Some of my friends have been talking to, some has taken this action for long times, but they take it as an individual, as for themselves. That is now, this time we come to open, to call all our friends, relatives, to think about taking back our African names. Interfering of the colonialism and or religious into our African heritage that is created for long time, the supremacy of colonialism into our mind. We've been having struggle to change it because it's colonialism in mind. They will not going to be free in your mind, in your culture, when you still bear a name which is not belong to us, names which has a legacy of colonialism. That is only colonialism remained in our mind. Young generation, if you still have these colonial names, to be free, you have to remove it in your mind. And you have to go back to our root, take both of our ancestors' names. As African, as I talk to many, we have a culture of naming our children. This culture been there before, before the interference of colonialism and the religions. They interfered in this naming culture for a long time. We haven't realized it. It was interfering into our society. They have been done
All right. You can see our brother, he's actually talking about a very important topic here, but he's being calm. He's being calm about it. Very calm about
He's
it.
taking his sweet moment, his sweet time.
His sweet moment, his sweet time. And this is a very, very legitimate, strong, important message that he's sending, that for us to be connected to our ancestors, that we must have their names, right? Because
Yes.
I don't remember the last time you were sleeping and then Jamaica came to you. So when you but I still see my grandmother, and she has always been kind to me in in my dreams. So let's be honest with ourselves. Ndị na-aza Michael, flower, champagne, all kinds of names. What relationship does those things have with you in terms of who you are as an Igbo person, as whoever person that you are from Africa? You can see our brothers back everywhere. They'll be answering Mohammed Ali. When was the last time you went to Saudi Arabia and they're answering Monachi over there?
Uh-uh.
You have been conquered, brothers and sisters,
Yeah.
and we are going to take back our names. So I will continue to play the videos. We have more videos to play. So you can see our brothers and sisters, the Ivy Leaguers, that's what I call them. The ones that are supposed to move and shake things when they come. Oh, allow Dr. Who to talk. Allow them more to talk. We didn't know. They don't even have to put on their socks. Their wife will put on their socks and shoes before they will leave home, because they can do all the chemistry calculation. Everybody assume that they're a genius. Yeah, you're a genius in the chemistry department. But if I look at you and you still don't know why I'm looking at you, then you know what our forefathers will call you.
It's worse with those ones that have English accent, because they think that when you speak in a certain way, that it means that there's something inside the brain. No, you just have skill, language skill. That's what it is.
That's it.
It's not
That's
high IQ. So
No.
please, my people, when you see them calling themselves professors, doctors, we're not saying you should not call them whatever they call themselves, but don't be fooled
Intimidated.
and don't be intimidated. Look at them face to face and ask them questions that has to do with critical thinking. You see that they won't be anywhere. They'll say, So we'll know that, like my sister would say, we've been punked. And then if that is the case, it means that you listening to us, you are the one that will do this job. Not all these people gathering themselves and gathering degrees and trying to intimidate us with degrees and big English. Something that they've said for 25 years is now that you are now getting it. Because you have tried everything.
Arise News is busy inviting every one of them now to talk about things that we've been discussing.
Yes. Can you imagine? There's one that's one that is whether is this one, I don't know whether it's one that is interviewed. His olodoness, it baffles me. I was like, I was like, whatever. I can't even allow them to interview me because I will get angry. You're talking to this side, they will talk to this side. Like, where have these people been? But we understand it's brown envelope journalism. So you come to media and in public space and disgrace yourself as if your brain is coconut water they put inside because you want to do brown envelope journalism. It's not your fault. Don't worry. Our people are waking up. Those ones that didn't go to school, but they have critical thinking, they are waking up and they will disgrace you. Let's keep going.
And Constitution, right? Was a military version. 1979 Constitution, right? Was a military version of what we should be guided by as a people. And that Constitution gives way ultimately to the 1999 Constitution, another military constitution. And so
there was the 89 Constitution, but it didn't actually take effect.
The 99 Constitution is the central thing now. Now, when you think in terms of the constitutionalism and the constitutional process, there is so much attention that is given to the substance, that is what you say about it contains, because it's the document that contains these rules and practices. But even much more attention is given to process. The legitimacy of the state is often dependent on the process that emerges, the strictures and the structures and the processes and the procedures of the state. When you look at the constitutional processes, you would find that there's an alienation of the larger bulk of the Nigerian people for whom the Constitution should be the practice of life as citizens.
But is it going to make any difference if you change the current one? I mean, a lot of people will still remain,
So you're back
alienated
again.
from it, given the fact that there's poverty. I mean, crushing
Can you listen
poverty.
to the
There's
minister?
illiteracy.
I think you're missing a hook.
And those are elements that would bring them closer to the concept of a
No, but you're
constitution.
missing a step there.
Yes,
So
listen.
why is it that those who argue on the necessity for this country to have a conversation that is people-centered and which then leads to agreements on what really are shared values? People who are arguing for that are people who are sensibly looking at what has happened to our society. One critical factor that enables development is what we call social capital, social cohesion. We lack it. It's depleted. You can't do much in rallying your people toward development without that. Another thing that's important is your shared values. I mean, people constantly say, because they have heard people say it, so they say it's institutions that matter, not the human beings. Oh, that's a very sound word.
Yeah, but the
don't
institutions
conflate-
are made up of
Don't
human
conflate
Right.
okay? So we do know that the simple definition of institution is the way a people do their things. Have we agreed how we do our things in Nigeria in ways that really bind us to certain sets of shared values that if anyone negated it, it wouldn't matter
Right.
who they are. And then the matter of, hey, we've got different definitions. I am a woman, Christian, Igbo, just name all kinds of other affinities that I have. Yet, I am Nigerian. So being able to come to the place where a set of things enable us define that common identity. Now, you know what all of that is? That's part of the process, because the process of constitution making is to enable the citizen look at the document and see themselves in it. And that sense of ownership of how the state.
When you guys seek him, all you have to do is say Ninas. And you're here. Oh, Jesus. And it goes here. And the contract comes up.
On a romantic constitution. What
is going on here?
Ninas.
Just say Ninas.
One
Our
way
brother has been doing the work. They've been saying it. And we key into Ninas. No, the social contract. And it goes here. You see how they deceive you? And it goes as if she's bringing it from her chest and her heavenly places.
So dramatic. Where did they get this type of human beings from, Bikun?
From Ivy League school.
And they don't know how to give credits?
No.
They didn't teach them that
They've been
part?
stealing, Mike. They've been stealing. This is their MO. She's not doing anything.
Whoa.
This is what they've been doing. Steal other people's work and present it as theirs. We know where they came from. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. She's about to have a heart attack.
I'm telling you. So annoying. Just say Ninas, damn it.
Look at Mama Kwisi. It's driving me insane. Okay, let me bypass the Akwisi and look at what
Ivy League is Akwisi.
Oh yes, yeah, Akwisi in the Harvard. I don't want to know. That's why it looks different. I know.
Yes.
What make it good sense? What make
know.
it good sense? Nah, my dear.
I never give credit. Hell. What did they get this type of human beings from, Bikun? And they don't know how to give credit?
This is
I never give credit. 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 I ne
Okay, let's listen, brothers and sisters. Please continue to help us to share.
Minimize the volatility of economic and social policy, and to set our country on a steady growth and development path rather than an episodic growth path, I have become increasingly convinced that Nigeria needs a social contract. By this, I mean a fundamental cross-party, cross-society agreement that certain things in the economy, in the country, in policy, and in society are sacrosanct and shall not be touched or changed when administrations change. And the private sector and Nigeria's civil society, including influential actors like the NBA, have important roles to play in policing a social contract and holding the political class accountable. The idea of a social contract dates back at least a few centuries when philosophers such as Rousseau, Locke, and Hobbes spelled out the notion of a compact, formal or implicit, defining the rights and duties of rulers and the ruled. A more focused definition for our purposes comes from the former head of the London School of Economics and the former president of Columbia University, my former World Bank colleague, Minu Shafiq. She describes the social contract as being about how we pool our resources to provide the public goods we agree are needed, and how we support those affected by adverse shocks. Her book, What We Owe Each Other, A New Social Contract for a Better Society, argues that in our fast-changing globalized economy, we need a new social contract to create a sense of security among people. What I'm calling for here is even more basic. I'm saying that all major actors in the governance of our country should agree on some basic parameters for security, macroeconomic and social stability, and the enabling environment for future dynamism and growth of our country. Once agreed, these parameters and policies should be institutionalized or enshrined in law, or even be made part of our constitution, not to be tampered with, except perhaps for a national referendum involving the entire country and society.
Does Mama know that constitution is a social contract?
No. Let me tell you how to do this, okay? When you're a politician, you get all your money from them. You won't talk about social contract then. Mm-hmm. You get all your money, you build your house in Abuja, build in Port Harcourt, build in Imo State, build in Anambra, elevate yourself and go to the American meetings and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So that when you take all the money, the monies that they steal during politicking, you go to something Congress, whatever, that World Bank or whatever. From the World Bank, when there's election coming up with P2B, then you will come out and say social contracts.
Yes. And meanwhile, the long name she's there trying to cut her tongue to come. Nwokeke in Igbo land said this thing 1805. All the Okonkwas know these things, right of this, right of this. John Thomas said it. And London School of Ndemmo said it. Okereke in Igbo land, Alandibo said it. Our ancestors said all these things you're saying, and they had constitution. Wrote all these things. But Madam Ngozi will not know now. Ivy League.
No, it wasn't taught in Ivy League. It wasn't taught in Ivy League.
Are wiser than her. That's why you cannot recognize a work done for 25 years. I'm ashamed of all of you.
You know what? He looks like a bag I bought from Bahamas. Okay. I speak of people, not bag. I'll show you to you. I'll let you.
Facing from an economy that is flatlining, even as it becomes obvious that Nigeria is broke. What's the problem? I mean, I'm going to put it just starkly. What's the problem with Nigeria's economy, and what's the best way to fix it?
The problem with Nigeria's economy is that we do not understand how to fix it. And we have made some very important mistakes. See, any prosperous economy operates at 4 levels. The first level is the philosophical level. That is to say, what is the organizing vision and philosophy of any country? And from there, what is the economic philosophy that drives the country's economy? The second level is the level of institutions. And this is the level of the political economy, the interaction between institutions and markets. The third level, which is where we tend to focus, skipping the first two levels, is the macroeconomy. And there you're talking about inflation, which is monetary policy. You're talking about taxation, which is fiscal policy and debt management and things like that. And the fourth level is the level of human development. That is to say, the basics of life. You know, longevity. Do people have good health care? Do they have education? The basics of life, you know. We tend to focus a lot on the macroeconomy and we ignore human development. And so you find poverty increasing while we're very concerned with GDP growth rates. But we're not concerned with GDP per capita, which has flatlined and remained the same for more than 20 to 30 years now at about $2,000, which is just unbelievable. So to fix the Nigerian economy, we must go back to the fundamentals. The Nigerian nation needs to be reinvented. There is no nation. We have a country, but we don't have a nation. We need to create an inclusive philosophical foundation that we can all agree on. That this is what it means to be a Nigerian. This is what we believe in. This is where we're going. And we agreed on who we are in this construct called Nigeria, what our rights are and what our obligations are. That conversation is not happening. Every government in this country avoids the matter of a fundamental constitutional restructuring of Nigeria. And you find that we're operating on a constitution that many people feel left out of. So therefore, this shapes the politics, because the politics is not a politics of a united vision. It's a politics of contending disparate forces, you know, ethnic, religious, and each person that grabs power represents part of the whole, but not the whole. And you know what then happens is that he or she, well, he so far, they acquire all the advantages of power. Their cronies become rich and
Like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Yes. You see, look at these brothers and sisters. If he did not have a coconut head, like I said, oh, I'm not even on. If my brother did not have, see, his head represented something. This is a coconut bag.
Whoa.
If his head wasn't coconut head, or he would have said Linas.
Yes, that's all.
Because he's empty. Look at how empty this coconut bag is. Where here on it?
It's your book.
It's your book. Because he's coconut head. You see where we are?
Also, you go, it's super. It reminds me of when you go to hospital and doctors are trying to bamboozle you. You have appendicitis. We're going to do appendectomy. Chineke or Sigini. I don't know. They will call you. Doctor said I have a appendectomy, and they will do me tummy.
Yes, they will do you tummy for sure. They will do you tummy.
Meanwhile, you can just explain to our people in clear language. No, we'll be able to intimidate them. It's Swonka. Let's listen to Okendi Heda, Eban Ibusisi, their people, and taking all the oil and everything. And they are wearing Colonial Masters cowboy cap that they have inherited to be their own.
Hey, these are our people. Okay.
Introduction. Some of us, and I inclusive, are of the view, firstly, that this country needs a people's constitution, a constitution that emanates from the people, a constitution that will lay the groundwork for unity, because you see, the constitutional foundation, the superstructure, is what determines even the economics, structure that will be built on it, the political systems that will be built on it, the legal system, and then dealing with the overriding issue of integration and cohesion in this country. We believe that the existing constitution is not a people's constitution. It didn't emanate from the people. The 1999 constitution has been severally amended. You know, started as a decree of the military government, 1990. In fact, it was so bad that in 1998-99, when this democratic dispensation came in, even the political players, and I was a state chairman at that level, you know, didn't even have an idea of what the constitution looked like. I mean, it was that bad. The constitution was promulgated to take effect from when President Obasanjo, who was elected president, took his oath of office. And that was when the constitution, everybody read it and then saw what it looked like.
So basically, it was people were kept in the dark.
Everybody was kept in the dark.
That's extraordinary.
So a number of people have forgotten that unfortunate development. That I'm not sure even President Obasanjo, as well as the 36 state governors in 1998, who stood elections under provisions that were made by a military decree, the transition decree, you know, didn't even know the nation extent of the powers that they were going to have, and
that's extraordinary.
The issues. Yes, a lot of Nigerians have lost sight of that fact. In other words, what we call as the constitution today was actually a military decree. You know, so the people never really played any role in the making of what we now call the 1999 constitution. Actually, a lot of us have the view that it is a fraudulent document, and you can't follow.
No, it's too much. Okay. All right. So at least this brother did a very good job. He didn't take you guys into the evil forest. He went to the 1999 constitution. Is the problem. Is the problem. Why do we say names? Names are very important. We call a thing, so that you don't confuse your people.
Yes.
Something cannot be white and then you turn around and say it's black, or you try to describe the whiteness in a different manner that will make the audience think it's black.
Yes.
It's still a deceit. So it goes in line with our topic. The greatest seal of victory over Africa is identifying with colonial name changes. It's also identifying with criminal political brothers and sisters. It's also identifying with things that is not in line with who you are as a person. Each like you have checked and it's not making sense, but because you were told this is who you're supposed to be, you continue to walk in that framework when that framework is actually against your entire being. According to Isaiah 58 from 6 to 8, it says, "Is not this the kind of fasting I have chosen? To loosen the chains of injustice and untie the cords of the yoke, to set the oppressed free and break every yoke." Name change or name is the first identification of any individual or entity. It is the way you know and perceive yourself. It's your heritage as well as your ancestral roots. You know, we name ourselves even according to who our grandmother was when she was here, how they behaved. So we know how much name or even our naming ceremony it is to us. In most ancient African cultures, naming ceremony is one of the most significant events associated with new births because they know this name is going to drive who you are as a person. It will follow you into eternity. It involves discovering and often reshaping the destiny of that child. According to biblical records, names of every significant individuals and places were changed to redirect their purpose in life. So how then do we explain that up till now? None of our noisy, spiritual, blind, religious, big wearing, littered all over Nigeria, they have not seen the urgency in joining the efforts of indigenous peoples to loosen the chains of injustice and untie the cords of colonial yoke. They have not seen it as urgent to set the oppressed free and break every yoke holding Nigerians down. Instead, I forgot their political partners. They are partners in our subjugation. China, India, Ethiopia, Burkina Faso, they have been able to resist and or take off the cloak of slavery and colonialism because they, to a great extent, retain their original indigenous names, heritage, language, religion, and culture. The indigenous peoples in the North Nigeria are today being massacred and displaced to IDP camps, with their original towns and villages renamed so that future generations will never lay claims to those lands and the rich resources in that ancestral land. So when you have been captured and defeated, your name changes. Imagine the effort that our people put into their name changing. Even the ones that were answering Igbo name, if their name is Chidi, they will put a T in between the Chidi to call it Chiti or something like that, just to English elevated the name so that they will begin to look like an Englishman. When your conquerors are only looking at you as a conquered slave, jacked up, lying son of a gun, for thinking you can be them, for abandoning who you are for sure to follow them. The colonial Christian missionaries, they made it a mark of repentance for the names of children and new converts to be changed from names that reflect and connect them to their original indigenous families, kinsmen, community, even their rich heritage, history, and ancestral legacy into meaningless and worthless colonial names that will connect them to new slave owners, just like their siblings who landed in Europe and America in slave ships. There's no connections, no links, and no claims. I know a lot of our people, even back here, they will children, when they go outside the home, they will call their children English name, and then when they come home, they will call them their Igbo name. What a confusing thing for a child, because we are trying to belong. I even get confused about who my friends are up to today, because outside there, they're answering English name, but when they meet you as an Igbo person, they will tell you their Igbo name. So when somebody meets you and say, oh, you know your friend Jennifer, I'm like, who is that? So Jennifer is the other person. So today, as we dive into the matters of supremacy of colonialism in our existence, truth, liberation, and self-determination for all our nations, because we are still in captives, bearing all slaves' labelings and preserving all their colonial limiting structures. But according to Chronicles, chapter 2, Second Chronicles, chapter 7, verses 14, it reminds us of God's love for us. And it says that if my people who are called by his name, like Monachim Saga, the rest of us, will humble ourselves and pray and seek our face and turn from our wicked ways, he said, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sins and I will heal their lands. So the word of God is there for you guys that follow people that are there to hold you down, for the Nigerian government to continue to rape you, the Nigerian government and their cronies. Even when they are fake governors, we know they are fake governors. Once they give a land to a certain man, in a religious man, everybody will forget how he took the position from his brother and become a governor. Nobody is talking about that anymore. Deceit everywhere, lies everywhere. Can we even start with Ezoku Wondo? Take off your shoes, put your feet on the ground, and begin with Ezoku Bondo. Let's start from there. I will pull up the PowerPoint while my sister add on.
Yes, please continue to help us to share and like. We're telling our people. You can see all the countries, like my sister mentioned, that were able to resist the evil one, the colonial monsters, we call them. They are very serious about their names. Your name has to reflect who you are as individuals and collectively. Mention Burkina Faso. They used to call them Upper Volta, but today they answer Burkina Faso. Some say the land of the righteous, some say the land of the honorable people, but it's their local name that makes meaning, that has sense, that makes sense. What does Nigeria mean? We're asking. You are still bearing the label, the tag given to you by the colonial monsters. and you are asking what is happening to you. You don't know who you are. You don't know your identity. You don't know anything. That's where you will begin sense, understanding what is happening to you. I'll allow my sister to continue.
Yep, that's where you begin. The greatest seal of victory over Africa is identifying with the colonial name changes.
Sorry, the PowerPoint went off. It came
Oh,
on, flashed, and then disappeared.
I'm looking at it over here. Okay,
Yes.
let's see.
Continue to share, please. Continue to like, hit the like buttons because we know what they're doing. So it's saw Facebook recently came out and apologized to the Americans for what he did. So we know what they're doing. We told you that's what they do. They've used algorithm to stop important information that should get to the people and make them to behave and be better human beings because they want to take advantage of you and make money and become billionaires and billionaire and they greed capitalists. They never stop acquiring wealth.
Nope, nope. These people will sell their mothers, their sisters, their brother, anything along the way. They must be so. It's on sale to them.
Yeah.
Everything and anything is on sale. Is the PowerPoint on?
Yes, it's on now, please. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So usually when I go, when I'm on this PowerPoint, I can see what's happening on the
Yes.
background. So the greatest seal of victory over Africa is identifying with colonial name changes. And let's look at our objectives today, which we've done in production. We are going to look at definitions and significances. We are going to look at the Nigerian system as the system of the colonizer. It's still the system of colonizer. That's why when anything happens, former prime ministers will catch flight to Ugwu. They will go to the northern part to go and make sure that their machine, the oil is still there for things to be rolling according to their chapters. We know that church is a major colonial tool for spreading ignorance and fear because we see what is happening to our people. They can't even reason anymore. They act like iguatro, like you can't do anything with them. They are so into praising whoever they think they are praising when they are only idol worshiper. When all you guys is doing is worship a man because of what he has to say, and it's not even manifesting. It's not even manifesting. Whatever he's saying, look at the amount of prayers. People, we'll show you pictures of all these so-called men of God. The amount of prayers these people have laid on Nigeria, there's no reason why we should not be super.
We call it prayer. It's not prayer, my dear. Our God calls it abomination. It's not going anywhere. It will not pass the roof.
It doesn't pass the roof. And people will go there and spend everything that they have. They will abandon their children, abandon their husband, abandon their work, abandon everything because they have to go to the service.
Yeah, it's market strategy. They gather them. The people do not know that the person gathering them is gathering them to make money from them. And they think they're going there to pray to God. Meanwhile, the prayer is not passing the roof because it's abomination unto God. We'll break it down for you, my people, in the show. Thank you.
More voices. Thank you. More voices rising in support of Nina's constitutional reset propositions. Don't mind how they are coming out to say it, because we'll show you how it's supposed to be done. We look at some take-home points, announcements, and remind you guys of the catalog that we are using for our campaign. So, of course, we cannot move forward without reminding everyone that we are still in the Osman Dan Fodio's estate. Until we get out of this estate, nothing will move for anyone. Anyone lying to themselves, whether you call yourself World Igbo Congress, the same group of people that sign up for the other man that claimed that he's bringing freedom. All of a sudden now, they're asking themselves again, please, these are people I know. I saw some of them in the ad. They cannot manage a wife and 2 kids. These are the men that their wives are locking. They're so stupid. Their wife I didn't even know they have fridge with keys in it. Their wives are buying fridge with keys so they can lock the dofe.
Hey!
They don't even deserve to eat the dofe.
Hey!
Now they are there. Who are they deciding for? Manage your wife and your 4 kids first. The first primary job that God gave you. Manage it first. Tell me that your wife and your children are happy. You have done that job very well. And then we can talk about other issues. Right now, you're incompetent. You don't get to rule our people.
Yep.
You don't.
Nope.
Get out of here, man.
Get out of here with that mess.
She said we on fire this morning. Marijuana.
I'm going to Holy Ghost fire.
The real one, the real one.
Everyone, I'm fire, I'm fire, I'm fire.
That's fine. Of course, we can't use disclaimer because all the videos we use previously, that's for educational purposes. So let's look at name definition and significance. A name is a word or phrase that identifies a person, place, or thing, entity, or idea. It can be used to identify a single thing or a category of things, either uniquely or within a specific context. Please continue to help us to share. So examples of those are personal name, legal name, birth name, common name, and etc. Name is the first identification of any individual or entity and is the way you perceive yourself. It's part of your ancestral root. It's part of who you are as a person. You know, I've been told that I look like my grandmother all the time. I can imagine her seeing me and she's trying to call me a champagne or flower. What the hell does that have to do with what she knows as my grandmother? How is she going to identify with, oh, you bring me back from Obodo Ibo? Oh, Munachi Kedaha Mwage. Oh, Ahaya champagne. Or Mercedes.
Colonialism. Arrow.
My grandmother cannot identify with that. So in many indigenous African cultures, we take naming ceremony very serious because we know it's very crucial in discovery. We know it's very crucial in shaping the destiny of a newborn child. These people that you guys are following, they don't even name any child. No law, they will write it down and that's it. And by the way, you can come back and change it. If you go home and your husband doesn't like it or boyfriend or whatever, you can come back and change it. But our name is something that is decided upon. It's something that we take pride in. It's something that family members are part of. We abandon all of those things to start answering Mercedes. Biblically and spiritually, name change is associated with reposition of the purpose of individual or place or things. So it's important that we know that name change, name is very important to who we are. So abandoning this colonial mindset, abandoning this thing that we've been carrying all along, thinking if we make ourselves British enough, colonial enough, English enough, Scottish enough, we'll become one of them. Only for you to turn around, when you look around, just like the African Americans, you're still a slave. So to the colonial monsters, the white and Arab supremacists, we know who they are. They rename a conquered territory. They place an enslaved person with non-indigenous name, which signifies ownership, supremacy, and a seal of victory. That's all it is. So don't get it twisted. Don't be thinking because it's like a Dike Dyke, because it's not Dike anymore. It's Dyke Rivers, Peter Ikes. You think now you're Onyocha. Go and try. Go and see. So they will name places like the River Niger that used to be called Obalu. Obalu. Did I say right?
Obalu River. Sorry, I think it's Obalu.
This is the colonial problem here.
Yeah, I think it's Obalu or something
Obalu. Like so they changed different things like Port Harcourt, which used to be Wacha, as well as other African countries. I found out the other day that even our there's a place in Middle East that was called oh my God, I can't think of the thing now. But anyway, they keep changing things because you are a conquered territory. Their diplomacy, international politics, and foreign policies are exploitative, and they are for divide and conquer because all they want to do is for you to continue to kill each other, unalive each other while they steal our resources. Example, the war that you see going on in Sudan, we were told, the same people doing it, we were told that it's being funded by Saudi Arabia and UAE, Dubai. So one side is for UAE, the other side is for Dubai, because all they want to do again is to steal resources, gold. We heard that Dubai is interested in UAE is interested in gold.
Not even interested. They've been stealing the resources, the gold in Sudan. All the one that people will go there and go and buy. Oh, I'm going to Dubai too. They milk them from somewhere. That's what we heard. Allegedly, but it's on publication. So when you're going for your vacation, I'm going to Dubai, and it's the same thing they do. We told you it's about white supremacists and Arab supremacists. Wake up and see what is going on.
Exactly. And every time there is resources in that land, they will make sure there is war in that land.
Yes.
If you think about it, it's the same thing. When they thought that Nigeria, the so-called Nigeria, is improving under Jonathan, what did they do? They bring terrorism.
Yes.
It's always how they do it. If they find some resources, they will come there and displace our people and put them internally displaced camp. And nobody's talking about how they're gonna go back to their own land. While they're playing all these games, 10 million brothers and sisters have been displaced.
Can you imagine?
Children are dying. Brand new children, infants are dying because the parents can't even eat. How are you going to feed your child? Resource control.
Congo.
Resource control all the time. Resource control. Britain, all of them. So it's like our blood is their life. While we bleed, they live.
Yes.
So people are calling on Africans to stop patronizing the exploitative, greedy capitalists because they will never stop. A great man asked a wonderful question today. He said, if I give you $10 billion, would you disown your mother? Do you know what a capitalist will say? He said, it doesn't have to be $1 billion. Just give me 500,000. And those that have no value or monetary value for the love that they have their mother will say, even if you give me 100 billion, I will not disown my mother.
Never.
You see that difference? A capitalist would take even $5 to disown the mother. But he called it something expense, illiquidable expense, because it's not liquid, illiquidable expense. So even for $100 billion, you will not disown your mother.
It doesn't equate. You can't equate that.
Yeah. So that's the difference between us and those with capitalist mind.
Yes.
So even when 10 million people are displaced and people are dying, it doesn't bother them. All that bothers them is their cash.
Yes.
Yeah. What is the amount? What is the money that we have on stock? How much more money can we make? Nobody is talking about how much life can we save.
Yes, and that should be mental illness, I'm telling you. It's not normal.
It's not.
You must be mentally ill. And which is what we're telling our people. Stop patronizing some of these electronics. Buy refurbished ones. Don't change iPhone, Apple. Be crazy. Every minute you're changing phone. Each time you're changing all those things. The important things inside there where they guide your people to get those things. So you're aiding and abetting them because your own greed and unsatiable wants. When you want to buy iPhone this, you want to buy this one, you want to buy this, anyone they bring out to buy, you are making their market move. And we are telling you that people's lives are removed for those things to be taken. Conscience, we have to work together, people. We have to work together, Africans. We have to come together and understand what is being said, not just being on social media, shaking your bum and saying things that do not matter. African lives matter. The lives of African children matter. So you must share this thing to people so that they will be part of this conversation. You must know. It's no longer okay for you to say, I don't know. You must know. Sorry, my sister, go ahead.
My dear, they must know, no? It's a good point. They must know. You being ignorant of the information that is out there, it does not stop the consequences from taking place. So these people, they divide and made those political minorities to weaken us and cause inter and intra-ethnic crisis and making exploitation easy. That's why everywhere these people went, they left a huge trash of mess. They will always, combine people that are not of the same, that have existed in peace before they came, because they recognize they are not the same people. They walk in line with respect, to each other. But no, the criminal empire came and made them one group so that all they would do is to fight each other while they steal resources. They change our culture, language, names of our communities. We see it everywhere. Something that we'll call Oka, they will come and add a W into it. Or whatever.
It makes sense.
All in the name to accommodate them. But I have not gone anywhere on their street and I see them naming anything that looks like ours. The only thing that you see is our arts that they stole and kept in their free refrigerated offices. I don't know. I still don't know what those our Disney is doing there without burning down the building.
But it's coming. It's going to come. That's why we're preparing our land where they will come. They will do wonders to them. They don't even know what they have carried. They don't know. They have no clue.
They put them in the fridge. Oh, you know, they are not able to react.
No, we are sending heat from Africa. We are going to send the heat that will take away the heat, and they will charge up, and all this will start shaking. And it's coming.
That's funny. It is coming. So all these things that they have done, it have led to loss of identity, have led to identity crisis, low self-esteem, and collective poverty. So people don't even know who they are. They are still lying, pretending. It's always about accommodating the things that they have set up for us. It's always about accommodating them. So those serious with decolonization of the ancestral lands see the reclaiming of the original indigenous name identity as the beginning of their decolonization process. You know, we thank our brothers and sisters here in Atlanta that are working with our people to change their names. Some of them have done their DNAs, they're recognizing their roots as Igbo or Yoruba, and they're going back to change their name. So we appreciate those people that are taking, because that is the beginning. That is the beginning of who you are for real. That is beginning of that change that you're looking for.
Absolutely.
In 1984, Burkina Faso, meaning the land of the righteous. What a wonderful name. Or the country of honorable people in native African tongue. It was replaced with worthless colonial slave master label called Upper Volta. Because again, our brother Sankara was misinformed.
No. He replaced it. No, it was called Upper Volta.
Okay.
So President Thomas Sankara
replaced
Upper Volta with Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is what is answering now. Upper Volta was the slave master's name that they put on them, just like Nigeria is slave master's name. So these people, Thomas Sankara, that's why every day people talk about Thomas Sankara, and even talking about Ibrahim Traore now as being, he's behaving like Thomas Sankara. And you see all the changes happening in Burkina Faso. And you know, we need to protect that guy, that president, because they're chasing him every day. Here, cool in Burkina Faso. They're trying to do it. Let the rest of Africa, as we walk towards our decolonization, please do not allow anything to happen to that man. He's doing a good job, and we want more, because the revolution that is going on there, and we want that, please. Sorry.
No, absolutely. Thank you for that correction. So I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Okay, yeah. All right, so I think I'm done. I think. Oh, okay. I have one more. All right, so African indigenous people need to know themselves, which again is the identity, and understand their culture and heritage so that we can behave accordingly and become who God wants us to be. Our name is attached to our origin, which is our history, culture, and spirituality. So it's important. I feel like my name follows me everywhere that I go. When I run into difficult situation, I always rely on my name. I always rely on my name. I call on the God of my ancestors. I call on my ancestors. And by the time I'm done, I'm in a better place. Yes. I can't imagine asking Angel Michael to come and help me. And not Angel Michael, Saint Michael. Okay, and they was Saint Anthony, Saint Anthony, Saint Ndemwa to come and help.
The colonial masters that came and opened door for their people to come and enslave you and steal you. You're calling on them to come and help you. Yeah,
that's why you're where. So we're bearing our slave labeling and preserving all colonial limiting structures. It shows that we are still in colonial captivity. We are captives of African pastors and priests. You can see them now buying lands back home right now. We're hearing, oh, that lands are so expensive where this particular man is going to build a church. Come and buy land. Which land? We're asking you guys that we're returning back to our roots. Ezoku Bundu.
Can you imagine?
And you're there collecting yourself as you go through. Somewhere in the mad place in Dara, Snow name or whatever. Can we start with telling ourselves the truth? Because these people, they play a role in keeping us ignorant.
Yes.
They are. While we are telling you guys that constitution is not working, they are telling you to pray, ba 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 ba, that it will happen for you. Can't you see that they are part of the problems? So those keeping us ignorant and under fear in order to dupe us of our resources and keep us poor while they enjoy our riches, they must be brought to books. We need to begin to call them out by their names. We need to separate ourselves from their activities. The captivity starts from our minds, which is spirituality. So liberation must start from the mind as well. I love how Sister P talks about Ndi Igbo because they change it to Ndi Igbo, Igbo, Ndi na-aṅụ Igbo, you know. Ndị ọṅụ Igbo, ehe na-ala Igbo, Igbo, a na-akpọ. No Ndị Igbo, the ancient people. Ha ele ihe niile kpọgidere anyị isi n'ala, lawa back to UK.
Ndị Igbo. From there, it sounds quite Ndị Igbo.
These people, man, we are not Ndi Igbo, we are Ndi Igbo, the ancient people. So we need to decolonize our minds, free our thinking, so that we can become who and what God wants us to be. Please do not watch alone. Share with others. Subscribe, like, share. Let's get this work started because Ninas is the way out of this mess. Even if they come in looking like, they're trying to make it come out, all you have to tell them, sister, Ninas. So Peter B and his cronies, nobody's going anywhere with you with one watch. Go and bring out all the watches people gave you when you're governors. They have receipts. A lot of them still have receipt that they used to purchase it from dealers and all the big stores all over the world. So stop the lies. I'll allow my sister to continue.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. The Nigerian system is the system of the colonizer. So we're telling our people, you see this thing happening to you, the system you see, the things that you go one step forward, 10 steps backwards, you do this one, like things are not making sense. It's all how they structured it. The colonial monsters structured it that way. So what is happening to you in Nigeria is not by accident. It's properly planned, put in place, and being executed, and they've been executing it since that name called Nigeria that they put in place started. So the goal of the Nigerian colonial system is to maintain ignorance, fear, and the state as a terror. These three things, it's not by chance that you saw your pastors distracting our people, teaching them what is not inside Bible, misquoting scriptures up and down, turning things upside down, causing confusion here and there, so that our people are building churches, but they're not spiritual. Our people are shouting, ba, 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 but they're very far from God. God is far from them. God is not hearing them. It is all part of the plan to put fear in the minds of the people, to make the people ignorant, because when you are ignorant, you are afraid. And then if these two do not do the work, the state will come with their police, their military from main road. So it's part of the system called Nigeria. So when you are praying, God bless Nigeria, you're saying, God bless the chains of my slavery. Tools of the colonizer, we will tell you the things, because what we do here in this show is we don't carry propaganda or lie or whatever. When we tell you, you go and check and verify. Confirm. The tools of the colonizer, the 1999 Unitary Constitution. Unitary is the word. Unitary Constitution, tying you together, saying unity, there's no unity. Unitary Constitution is one of the tools. Religious tools, yes, to maintain the fetish of white prestige. That's why they made Yeshua to be white. Yeshua, aka Jesus Christ, is not a white man. But they brought the picture of a white man. If they tell you that picture they brought, who that person is originally, you will start vomiting. You start throwing up like, ew. They brought it to you, imposed it in your mind. Now, especially Ndibu, have built altar for this strange god from Rome. The Jesus and the mother, you see, they're white. All the angels are white. All the saints are white. Everything is white. Even Moses is white. Paul, white. All disciples, white. Everybody is white. In the original, they were not. But they put all that, position all that to put supremacy in you, like for you, so that when you see a white man that is colonizing you, you think he's God's cousin or his elder brother. How will you fight against him? God sent him now. So, to maintain the fetish white prestige from one side, through the church, that fake church, and then from the other side, Arab supremacists. That's why they will tell my brothers and sisters in Islam that when they die, they'll give them 70 virgins. So women that were in this world, we are looking how to live our fulfilled life. We will now die in whatever world of these crazy people that call themselves Muslims. 70 women will be given to one man. Does that even make sense to you? Can't you see that somebody is playing pom 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 on your head? If it does not make sense, it did not come from God. What did we say? If it does not make sense, whether you are Islam, you're Muslim, you're Christian, you're traditionalist, if anything you're practicing does not make sense to you, it does not come from the God that created this universe. Take it, say that Daughters of Truth said so. Put us anywhere. If it does not make sense, because the God of the universe makes sense. We have gone to study all the things that he created, even human being that he created. As a medical doctor, if you have opportunity to be in anatomy and dissect cadaver and see how God packaged every part of the body, where he kept the eye, how he surrounded it, how he protected it, my goodness, you will feel in awe of this God we're talking about, the God of the universe. Everything has a reason, everything has a purpose. So he will not just wake up suddenly and start doing things that do not make sense. That is.
And he also told you to come, let us reason together.
Exactly. So he wants you to reason. That's why he gave you the brain. So any religion that is making you not to reason and stop reasoning and using your brain, that you will not make sense, it is not from Elohim. It's from the idols that they brought to use to conquer you. So religion is part of the tools for colonization. Is working in that system called Nigeria. That's why you see all the churches built in Nigeria. Nigeria is the place where you have more churches than any other place.
Yep.
Yet there's iniquity, there is death, there is greed, there is backwardness, there's evil, there's darkness, thick darkness. It does not add up. Another tool is the human tools. So the human tools are the politicians, the political class, the traditional rulers. These are selling their people. These people sell their people. It's still in the other slide. Yeah. These people sell their people. We're talking about the tools of colonization. Is a slide before. No, back. You will go back. The tool of colonization. We told you about 1999 Unitary Constitution, religious tool, human tools, then biological tools. These are diseases and harmful materials they deliberately infect Africans with, including some of their vaccines and drug trials they're doing. GMO foods. These are biological weapons against Africans to destroy them because they want your land. We'll give credit to Sister Ndidi. She put this part of this section together. Slave name called Nigeria. Where did it come from? What's the meaning? We're telling you about the Nigerian system. The name, the structure, everything together. Niger area, black, Niger area. They call you people Nigeria. Enter your cousin, the other side, that's in Niger. They call that one Niger in French. So it's the same word. Niger, Nigeria, Nigeri, Nigeria. Either way, Blackie in English, Black in French, Black in German, is all the same description. An artificial entity Nigeria is an artificial entity imposed on the ancestral lands of the indigenous peoples. And then when they finish, they balkanize this whole thing into your so-called states and useless local government without the input of the people, because they don't want you to be part of the system. You are locked out of the system. You heard what bills they say that the system they built, the people have been alienated from it. You're not part of it, you don't have a say in it. It's how the colonial monsters want it, because you are the owner of the land and the resources. So if you have an input, if you have a say, things will not be the way it is. So you are locked out, and they're using the political class, P2B and his brothers and sisters, to lock you out and make sure you stay out of the discussion. You're not part of the conversation because it belongs to you. We want you to go to the Nina's website, www.ninasvoice.org. You will see the title, The Fetish of White Prestige. It's part of the amalgamation reports. So the things we're telling you that are not propaganda or things that we saw, these things were written and put into archives, which is part of the work that Nina's had to do, to break into archives, to get information that people didn't have. Because some people ask, what is it that our ancestors did this? They didn't have information. We told that information is key. Information is power. If you don't have information, you won't know what is doing you. You might know what you're trying to do, but you won't know what is doing you. The more you look, the less you see. We had to get our people that walked ahead of us before we came as daughters of truth. They got this information before they knew, okay, this is what is going on. That's why we tell people, stop running up and down, Biafra this, that, all these names and all this World Igbo Congress, all this. They will not take you anywhere, because these people are working in stark ignorance. They have no information.
Also working for their political ambitions.
Exactly. And then helping the colonizers to make sure that you are kept colonized. You see what we're saying? The next segment is church is the major colonial tool for spreading ignorance and fear. We told you that ignorance and fear and then state terror, that are the three parts of the tools that the colonialism thrives on. So somebody has to be around maintaining that ignorance and fear. Oh, if you do this one, God will kill you. If you do this one, God will kill you. If you do that one, God. So everybody's afraid. Oh God, please don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me. If you see a man that is doing something, even Jesus Christ looked at Peter when Peter said what he should not say. He said, "Get thee behind me, Satan." Jesus called Peter Satan. But they tell you, if you're telling these pastors what you're doing is not right, they say, touch not my anointed, do my prophet no harm.
Criminals.
Put fear in you. Remember when we were in IPOB, when our people were not able to say anything to Ojon Iboji, because he took them to oath, fake oath. If you do, this will happen to you. Meanwhile, he had killer squad that will come for our people and destroy our people. Evidence, full ground. So we are not saying what we don't know. It's the same system of the colonial monster. Fear and ignorance. Because when you are ignorant, you are afraid. You can't even ask questions. You can't. You say, keep quiet, keep quiet. You are afraid. So transactional Christianity is a scam. You can see that picture. You see religion scam. You see you are bribing imaginary God. And you are there throwing. On that table is the priest and the pastor. The money that you
Okay, what a wonderful picture. Let me make it. Let me open it up so people can see.
Oh my goodness, this is so. Please, we'll give credit to whoever that created this video, this picture. I didn't, whether it's Sabine or somebody, I don't know who, but please, we'll give credit whoever you are out there, because this is a perfect description. So you're on top. Come and see how skinny they are. No stomach, no head. Global, we see. You are putting your tithe and offering. Under the table is where the pastor, the priest, their family, that's where you see their stomach very big. And when they come, they will do their kara for you. God is doing this for you. It's not God doing anything. You are the God. You are the God buying private jet for them. You are the God taking care of Paul and Nenche, his wife and his children that are buying designers. It is you that is the God.
Yep.
You that are contributing the school fees your children's school fees, you that you're contributing everything, you are the God. And then the politicians are stealing the money for hospitals, money for everything, land, projects, and give it to them. That's why Paul Eneche is in Abuja and tell you, I don't eat a tithe and offering. Why will you eat out of offering? When the politicians, you see, good luck, they're smiling, kiki, in front of the chair, they're in front of his church. All the
criminals. Remember, they fund the politicians, and then the politicians now have to pay them back.
So it's partnership. That's why you see Adeboye, Oyedebo, all of them are in this partnership. Because they have gathered crowd, it's the same process that the fake freedom fighters are using. They gather crowd, they will start shouting on microphone, oh, who will do this, who will do this, who will do this. So people will come to them because people are looking for freedom. People are looking for solace. People are looking for so many things. The colonizers have destroyed the people. Our people have been destroyed. So these people make noise with microphone. Come, we're going to do this. Make promises and everything. The people will come to them. When they now gather the crowd, then the politicians will come and give them money to rent the crowd. That's why you see Ebuka Obi gathering crowd. Mbaka gathering crowd. All of them will gather crowd. And you are that crowd. You, your children, your husband, your wife, your brothers, your sisters, all you hungry people, you are part of that crowd. You have been duped. You have been scammed. And God will not say anything because he gave you brain to think. You refuse to use your brain. That's why God is not saying anything to you. That's why you're doing prayer and fasting and praying and you're not sleeping in the night until you get mad. Because you have to be mad to live in Nigeria. And God is not saying anything. God, what would God say? Because he has given you the strength, given you the intellect, he's giving you Nina's proposition for you to be free. But you chose stupidity. God is not a terror. He's not a terrorist. So he's not going to impose himself on you. He's a perfect gentleman. He has given you the things you need. He said, choose what you want. But you chose to be ignorant. And he said that people perish for lack of knowledge. And he will shake his head. So transactional Christianity that will tell you, God says you should bring this. If you bring tithe, then God will bless you. Is transactional Christianity is a scam. They are teaching people that God needs to be bribed before he plays his role as God. We want to give credit to Dr. Ebed Damina. Dr. Ebed Damina. I don't care your past. I don't care what you have done. But the Bible says if anybody repents and now begin to do what is right, that we should recognize them. And that's why we are recognizing you on this platform for what you're doing. Telling our people the truth. Breaking the Bible, the scriptures for them. Whether they agree or they don't agree, say what you are sent to say. So that the people will be free. They need to be set free. Nigerian church and Christianity is idol worship disguised as Christianity.
Yep, idol worship indeed. Idol worship.
Idol worship.
Oh, Daddy Gio is in town. Daddy Gio, come and see Daddy Gio. Daddy Gio. Criminals everywhere.
You pay $1,000 so that you drink tea with Daddy Gio. Meanwhile, your brothers and sisters are in the village, they've not eaten. They're just asking you for 50,000 naira or 10,000 naira to start something. But you're paying $1,000 to have tea with Daddy Gio. Are you not worse than the colonizers?
Where was?
So what it is worship of Mammon, the god of money. And of course, why Jesus from Rome, like we tell you, what is white supremacist God is idol from Rome. That why Jesus is idol from Rome. It is not Yeshua that you wanted to worship. That one that you had in your mind that you want to worship, that's not him. That's not him. Poor, hungry people in Roman Catholic Church contributing yams, eggs, milk, bonvita for lazy priests and sisters who do not contribute anything to the community.
What did you say?
Yes, I just heard.
We take that one back. They contribute.
Do you know that people in the village have been contributing yams, eggs for Reverend Fathers and Reverend Sisters?
These sisters they are contributing to their family. They are building mansions in their families.
Yes.
All of them. They are settling their brothers and sisters. Their brothers and sisters are living like celebrities in the villages.
Yes. So apart from the offering that our brothers and sisters pay in the church, it has been the practice for long. We didn't know. So they go to market, buy yams. It say, Aqua, Father. G, Father. So they buy when they have not eaten yam,
Mm-hmm.
when they are unable to eat eggs.
Mm.
Somebody told me in Abuja that, oh, there's this place that they have reverend fathers. They eat like kings and queens. They really serve very good food for them. And also hamburi. If you have back and baramu. They are there doing nothing, contributing nothing.
Yeah.
That's why Ninas will tell their bishops about what will free the people. They will not be part of it because they don't want the people to be free. Because if the people are free, they will not sit down, lazying around, while food are being contributed from hungry people. You think it's only Pentecostals? No, it's every. That's why I say Nigerian church. No one except because if you're doing something right, like Ebe Domino, begin to speak out. If you cannot come out and speak out now, forever keep quiet because the gods of our ancestors are coming for all of you. All of you that have helped our people, kept our people in this bondage. I don't care what you're called. You are going down, all of you.
You see?
So my people contribute to G, Father. We are not talking about the Merisamna that people are buying, buying wrapper, 20,000. And every woman in Igbo land must buy it. We are not talking about that. My mother has up to 7 or 8 different uniforms at 90. Money going. Then in Reverend in the Anglican, those ones marry. So when their children are doing wedding, everybody in the church will contribute and pay. When the woman is going for a mugo, everybody will pay. They will do birthday, they will do party, everybody will. So then they will go and write a book that old people in the village cannot read.
You must buy it.
Everybody must buy it. So all of them have their own system they are using to steal from the people. It's different. The Pentecostal, Pentorasta, those ones are so arrogant, lying pastors. They package and market lies to the people in the name of paying tithes and so on. Kalu business. Iwere nka eri emego, iwere nka eri ego, ewekwana nka, iwere nka nwanyị ego ga na 419. That is why there's so much poverty in the land. We'll show you the next slide. These are some of the men who were used to brainwash and dupe the indigenous peoples of Africa.
The agents.
With fake religion. Yes, Sabi Scholar, that's the one that we got the picture from. We give credit to people in anything we're doing. So you see all of them. These are the ones robbing God, robbing the people, and robbing the nations. That's why they're so wealthy, in quotes. That wealth did not come from God. It did not come from them fasting. It did not come from them praying. It did not come from them from night vigil. No. It came from them duping you, duping the nations, taking the resources meant for developing the land for themselves, because they have to be rewarded after every election. They have to be rewarded because they are the ones funding the politicians.
And keeping you dumb.
Keeping you dumb. And the politicians, we need them. So it's partnership. The politicians need them because they have the crowd of stupid people. That they will tell, go and move P2B, go and move this. But because what they're doing is not pure, the Bible says, because they gather not in my name, they are evil and they will scatter in 7 ways. And that's what you're seeing, the scattering that is going on right now. So when anything is happening in the church in Nigeria, do not call God into the matter. It's judgment time. We read Malachi 3:8 that they've been using to deceive you. You know, there was a time we said in this platform, we say, if you call yourself a Christian and you don't read the Bible by yourself, you're a criminal because you're going to dupe your children and take your children into that system. He said, will a man rob God? Yet you have robbed me. But you say, in what way have we robbed you? In tithes and offering. It's not for you, my people, paying tithes. It's for these criminals here. The tithes that you paid, these criminals swallowed them. They are the ones God is talking to, that they are criminals. They are thieves. Only. Ndioshi. That's who they are. Malachi 3:10, he says, bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, that there might be food in my house. The food in the house that God is talking about is for widows, for orphans, for fatherless. If it's for the widows, how can it be that it's the widows that are not paying tithes? So these people ate the tithe, the food meant for the people. That's why the people are hungry. And God is telling them, you have robbed me. So anytime anybody quotes this type of thing to you, say, Oga Pastor, that scripture is actually for you. You are robbing God. And he's coming for you.
He is.
We are talking of Iguatoro. Church is the major colonial tool for spreading ignorance and fear. See them here. This is non-criminal, the people, Ndiobodo, know that this politician is not good for them. But church will come and advertise him and promote him. And he's opening hand and wearing white as if he's holy. Friends to the criminal politicians. They will lie to cover them up. Darkness plus darkness equals to what? Type it for us there. Can you hear me? Darkness plus darkness. What will he give you to? They will assemble. Look at the crowd. See the pictures? Iguatoro. This is called Iguatoro, not Iguemad. Multitude of atoro, multitude of sheep. Wasted crowd. Because when people come together, they are supposed to have a force to free themselves. But if you come together and you're unable to free yourself, that means you are wasted crowd. You are Iguatoro. Brain, no day. Nothing. Coconut head. You don't know that power belongs to the people. So when you gather together and you are unable to exert power to free yourself, what it just shows is that you are a slave, you are Atoro. Why? What makes you to be Atoro? Information. Blind leading blind. Look at this one that didn't go to school. Amuma maramamo, amuma maramamo, amuma maramamo, maraginonye. Yoshi everywhere. Imagine if these people, this crowd you're seeing, mobilize for self-determination. But they will not. They will gather them, so they'll be chasing imaginary witches and wizards. And when they finish, they'll tell them that it's their neighbors and it's their ancestors that are chasing them.
You know you're talking about their God, right?
Yes.
Yes. So you know how that goes. When you talk about their God, everybody runs away because like we said, idol worshippers. Yes. So they keep on going. They are here.
Why we say truth?
Yes.
Asumada, why we say truth is I ne. That's our job. I ne. Because what will happen to you is not coming from us.
Who knew?
The forces out of us.
Who knew? You and your children combined.
Yes. They will steal the people's lands and build big churches and cathedrals.
Widows and orphans.
Widows and orphans. They take their land. This is the only thing, the only inheritance. And we know how land is a big deal in Anandibo. The only land that a widow, her husband left for her. These evil people will steal it. Take it to build cathedrals, churches, instead of building hospitals. So they will build hospitals, they will build church. They enter inside the church and start praying for miraculous healing. Rather than build churches, rather than build hospitals, factories, farms. Imagine if this crowd are what they are, where they are now is farm, and that this crowd are farming. Why won't there be food? If you talk, they will lock you up in prison.
They even come and say they are praying for you to die, your fellow men. And the same people that will follow him will say, why would a man of God imprison another man that didn't really harm you?
Are we not finished? Are we not finished?
No, they said he should. They said, oh yeah, he just should die there for what he said about their idol God.
Their idol God. but there's a God in heaven. You people are not God in heaven.
Nope.
Like we told you, the person you are worshiping, whatever you're worshiping, is not God.
Oh, he is. He's wearing white.
Okay.
And he's light skinned.
Okay. So there's God in heaven, and he's very much interested in the affairs of men. And forces are coming to correct things. We are showing you people. This is the next slide. These are criminals of Africa. These are thieves, pulpit bandits. No wonder they will not support Ninas. But you know what? Pride goes before a fall. We are running against time. So these people have been teaching prosperity for 30 to 40 years. Yet the condition of the masses and the nation is getting worse. Local business. Nigeria is now the capital, the poverty capital of the world. And they've been preaching prosperity for you. You see the dance of shame that they danced during the election, the past general election. Shameless and ungodly people. PVC, PVC, PVC. Prophesying this, prophesying that. Meanwhile, God did not speak. These people, like we said, will close hospitals and build church where they will stay and pray for miraculous healing. Are they not dumb? And you are following them to be dumb. They will close factories and build cathedrals and auditoriums, big one, where they will be comfortable. They collect money from you and tell you they will multiply the money, and then job will come from heaven. Is it not 419? If you call them to repent, they will start shouting like mad dogs. And they think that there's no God. Isaiah 58, 6 to 8. We quoted it before at the beginning of the show. Is this not the kind of fasting I have chosen? To loose the chains of injustice and untie the cords of the colonial of the yoke, yes. To set the oppressed free and break every yoke. This is what you're supposed to be doing. Please, the next slide. Luke 4:18 says, the spirit of Adonai is on me because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim release to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to set free the oppressed. This is what Christianity is. This is the mission statement of Christianity. If you're not seeing it, then it's not Christianity. A religious person will do what he's told, no matter whether it's right or wrong. Whereas a spiritual person will do what is right, no matter what is told. So we push for spirituality, not an anti-religion. The church ought to serve as a pillar of justice and fairness, but they failed. So you see that they're being judged for enslaving the people. If your fasting and religious activities, like we said, does not lead to loosening the chains of injustice and untying and setting the people free, the oppressed free, and breaking every yoke in their lives, especially 1999 constitution that we're talking about, count what you're doing as cow dung, wasted efforts. We believe that there's a need to reintroduce spirituality to liberated Africans. The real gospel. Good news, not this whitewashed fake Christianity from colonial monsters. No. Thank you very much.
Oh, continue to help us to share and like, and we'll continue with the next topic. Go ahead.
Oh, more voices rising in support of Nina's constitution reset propositions. We already showed you videos and clips. We're just going to run through and summarize for you what they said, just as a recap. NINAS, Nigerian Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination, their proposition is constitution reset is the redemption pathway for the distressed Nigerian federation and economy. You need to do constitutional arrangement. You have to rearrange how we constitute, not just writing a book, how we stay together. So, Professor Anthony Akiwele, he said, someone I didn't understand what he said. Professor Anthony Akinwale said, unitary Nigeria is a union at gunpoint, not democracy, a territory, not a nation. Nigeria needs to win by resolving a conceptual crisis. That is from Professor Anthony Akinwale. We already played some of these videos earlier on, and some of the videos are in circulation. Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Nigeria's former finance minister and current director general of the World Trade Organization. He says, Nigeria needs a new social contract to reset its survival stability and growth pattern. He said that at the NBA 2024 annual conference. That is what he's saying, is that Nigeria needs a new social contract for a better society and future. And we have told you that constitution is a social contract. That's what constitution is. So what she should be talking, she should be working with Ninas, because there's no other way to actualize what she's trying to suggest. Every other way is a crooked criminal pathway. So Konjiwala, yeah, if you share this to him, anybody to her, let them tell her she needs to go and work with Ninas, not speaking all this English. English does not take anybody anywhere. It's action, correct action. Dr. Obior Kwesileze, former minister and ex-vice president at the World Bank, and then Senator Senator Dixon, immediate past governor of Bayelsa State. They said the redemption pathway for Nigeria's economic woes, failures, and multi-dimensional dysfunctions is a fundamental reconstruction of Nigeria's damaged constitutional foundation.
Okay.
What we said, constitutional foundation. I get change here, and it's going to be people that will change it. Nigeria needs an urgent fundamental constitutional reconstruction. Most of the people for which the present unitary constitution is meant for are isolated. That means the people are not, what they have is not people's constitution. That's what they're saying. It is government of a few, for a few, by a few. That's political elites that are doing the things by themselves. Very insignificant percentage of the population holding down the rest of the people, holding the rest of people down. Obi said there's lack of social capital, no social cohesion. Oh, you go. He said there's no representative of the wants and needs of the majority of the people. So they're not doing it for the people. What they have now is not government of the people, for the people, by the people. It's not democracy. So all these things are together with what has been said before now. Professor Kingsley Moghalu, a former deputy governor of Central Bank of Nigeria and ex-presidential candidate, he said, Nigeria needs urgent fundamental constitutional reconstruction, not this unitary constitution. We do not have a nation or a union yet. We have a country, which is mere geographical space, a territory, but we don't have a nation. So we need to reinvent Nigeria. That's Kingsley Moghalu talking. He said that there's no inclusive philosophical foundation. Oyibo, that means all the people have not been discussed in part of what is going on. He said we need to define what it means to be a Nigerian. Of course, it doesn't mean anything to be a Nigerian, because that is the trade name of the colonial monsters. There's nobody called Nigerian. It's the peoples, the indigenous peoples inside Nigeria that are citizens of wherever they came from. He said, who are we in this construct? Tag Nigeria on Adwajuju is asking. So all these things have not been answered. He said, what is our belief? What is the right, obligation? Means a shared core value. What is it? Nothing. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't exist. You say, what is our collective journey, our aspiration, destination? Like ownership of the project. Who owns Nigeria? Who owns Papa's land? That's what he's saying. Papa's land belongs to the colonial master. So far is under 1999 constitution, everything belongs to the colonial masters, and they keep taking everything because it's drying the people, milking the people dry, and the people's neck going long, and their stomach going big. why the politicians become elephants. Enyi na-aga na isoro n'azụ gwogwogwo. Enyi na-aga na isoro n'azụ gwogwogwo. Thank you.
Yes, we have been punked. Eyinaga na isoyinazo. Ninas. Nigeria Indigenous Nationalities Alliance for Self-Determination is now calling on all men, women, youth, children, brothers and sisters that have been captured in this biggest slave camp, tag Nigeria, to wake up and embrace the true freedom and maturity. Do not allow the English-speaking morons to come and tell you otherwise. Do not allow the man with one watch that told you that they are starting their political ambition once again so they can take you to the slaughterhouse. Once they lose the election, it is like a football. When you lose, you go home. And then I fly to London to sit by my pool and watch my children play. That's what they will tell you at the end of the day. By acquiring the ability to determine your existence, success, and progress all by yourself, be part of ongoing advocacy and mobilization campaign. Begin to share Nina's material, broadcasts, and videos everywhere. Don't let the Harvard-wearing sisters cap come and tell you otherwise. Don't let the coconut bag head tell you otherwise. Because once they get captured, because all these things you see them coming is gara-gara. So that Peter Obi now will give them a position and say, okay, maybe you can be my economic advisor and this and this. It has always been about them.
Social constructs organizer.
Yes. Once they take you to the slaughterhouse, they will get promotion. They will steal all the resources, build houses all over Nigeria, and they will get a professorship job at somewhere in Boston. And then America will reward them for dragging you on with World Health Banking Organization jobs. And their children will get the same job while you are crying over the dollar exchange. So be part of the self-determination movement. Set personal goals. Kick these people out of your lives, all of them. Discover and embrace your identity and your local names. Reflect on your performance. Explore new success techniques. And please send us feedback. If there's something that we can do better, send us feedback. I know we are not always on point like you want us to be. Yes, we like to make fun of those that have taken our people for a ride all these years. We thought they went to Harvard, they are for us. We thought they were on one, that eventually after they are on one for many years, they will say, okay, let me put electricity so that even when I'm not here, the electricity will be on. No. What they were doing to us all along was they will go and get from the Nigerian government, take some, and then they will bring us rice at the end of Christmas with olive oil, with granite petroleum oil, and then deceive us. I will dance for them. When they turn off their generator and leave, hunger will start. We do not want a system where our people can only survive when Onwa is in town. So all of you playing Onwa sheep, play your one for our people. We don't want you to be the only one building secondary school for our people, building university for our people. You want it to be done by the public so that nobody will hold it over our head like any other society.
That's what
we don't want you to give us things. So you form your cronies. Nobody will ask you question anymore. Because you have taken over, you have paid off the chief in the village, you have paid off Umo boys, you will go and pay for their football match, you have paid off everything, nobody can challenge you. You are a criminal. You are a criminal. You want a better society. So you, Onwa, when you die, your children will have a safe place to live. Onwa, you can see that it's not about you, Mr. Onwa. We are trying to create a system where, Mr. Onwa, if you happen to die, once you fly to London and sing a gospel song and you happen to die, your children will live in a fair society. So perhaps, Onwa, you can reconsider your ways. That we want more. It's not about you and your stomach and your ego and everything else. We are now talking about the future of our children. Mr. and Mrs. Onwa. The final decommissioning of the Union of Debts. The final decommissioning of the Union of Debts. So we start off with repudiation, That means we don't want, we reject the 1999 Constitution. We have done the constitutional force majeure. We are waiting for you to transit now. That's why on our next slide, we say transition now, so that we can go to the referendum on the plebiscite and decide how we are going to exist as a nation, exist as a people, exist as people that want to federate together. Our brothers and sisters will not tell you this because all they came to Arise to do is to get Obi's attention. You know, get all the political parties' attention, and they will call them to be part of it. Then when they finish, oh, Kenneth will say, I'm not doing it anymore. The other person will attack Kenneth. How about Kashia? They will leave you guys in a dungeon. You all about Kashia, about fish everywhere.
Kenneth Okonkwo. That's not Onoba.
Yeah, because his mouth reaches his ears.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Akotu.
Transition now. Our sister puts out a good letter or information. I don't even know what to call it. It's all encompassing for you to be aware, for you to be well informed, because when you're well informed, you can challenge every authority. You can, because you have your points. So sign up for her newsletter. Next time I'm going to put that information on here, how you can sign up, because I get it on my email. To sign up for the newsletter so you can get it. She's also on Spotify and Clubhouse on weekly basis. Again, giving you the information that you need. I'll tell you a story quickly. I have a guest that just left home. We talked about empowerment and everything. She had something happened at the airport and she took care of it decisively. She was full of points that they end up giving her what she deserved. But guess what? The same flight, the other group of people were told something else and they left without asking questions because they don't know what to ask. So information is power. We need you to get information. Don't use like, oh, is that the woman on the air? She knows more than you do. She have done the research. And then if you are capable of doing the research, please go for it and share information far and wide with our people. So on Tuesdays, we go with Twitter Tuesday. Nina says, right, because it's hard for them to say. We have taught you guys consistently on this platform the need to give references when someone else have done the work. And that's what we teach here all the time. We do want to thank those of you now that are using PowerPoint to teach our people so they can go back and look for things, but also learn how to give credit where credit is due. The website is there for you to learn and get the information. Our pages are there, our social media pages. And of course, we want to remind you, the guys, that this work is not done in isolation. Somebody is putting in their time, somebody is putting in their effort, somebody is staying up all night, somebody is flying from Abuja to the east, to the west, to everywhere else to talk to our people about the need for us to renegotiate our stand with that so-called place called Nigeria. So it's not done. Oh yeah, when you guys finish, then we'll show up with our business business plan. We'll lock you up with your business plan. We'll use it and put it on your forehead, Mr. Business Plan. So this is the time for you to be part of this process.
Yes.
I know we have 20 billion to give to people building churches. The churches will not liberate our people. We want to empower our people. We want to be able to, so that if we don't wake up tomorrow, our people will live a life that is, we feel with dignity.
Yes.
Our people will be able to sustain themselves. You guys also have to remind yourself that our children are not even as strong as we are. They're not going to be able to deal with this.
This mess.
So we cannot afford to leave it for our children. We have to do this work. You that follow religious leaders in white coats. You have to do this job.
Yes.
So begin to ask the God of your ancestors, not the God of Rome, the God of your ancestors, to wake you up and ask you, what role can you play to make this thing happen? The website is there for you to learn and share information amongst your folks or your folks. The information is out there. We are available for teaching. For those of you going on convention, going on different things, this is an opportunity. Instead of you trying to buy a generator for the hospital in the village, we are trying to change the system so that it will not be your responsibility again to go and buy a generator for a hospital.
Exactly.
Generator for a hospital. What about fuel? The other day they were saying there was no fuel in the play back home. People weren't driving anymore because they couldn't find fuel. So let's solve this problem once and for all. Stop doing things that will just make you get recognized. Oh yeah, the people in USA brought generator for the hospital. What the hell is that going to do for paying the staff, nurse, and the doctors? Eh? You guys keep lying to yourself as if you're doing something. At least let's work on this thing, fix it once and for all, so that even if you want to meet everywhere all over the US every year and lie to yourself, maybe we can focus on enjoying our company instead of pretending as if we are doing something. People cannot be suffering from cancer. Then you give them aspirin and then you want to come out and say, oh yeah, they were sick and I brought aspirin when they need chemotherapy.
Exactly.
Stop playing. This is what we are talking about. Stop bringing aspirin when the solution is chemotherapy and pretending like you did something. We need to fix it once and for all. So this work is being done by people. People are making sacrifice to make sure that this work goes through. And here is our campaign. Like we told you guys last week, however way you can share this information, we are not going to be apologetic about who we are.
Yep.
We are unapologetically Igbotic. Can
Yes.
you appreciate that? We are unapologetically Igbotic. Britain, did you hear that? We are unapologetically Igbotic. Get it through your head. Proudly Igbotic.
Yep.
We are going to say it loud. Proudly Igbotic.
Yep.
We are not going to apologize for who we are or what we are. Very nice people, hardworking, loving. Those of you sending in audio of somebody saying something, they say, it's Igbo, Igbo said it, Igbo said it. You are very stupid. We don't have time for you. We are change agents. We're here to change the system to favor both men and women, both the people in the forest, both the people using urine to shower. We want a life-changing position for our people.
Yes.
And you get that think it's about blackmail, to blackmail somebody. We are proudly Igbotic and unapologetically Igbotic.
Bam.
We're not going to hide anymore. So you all come on. Bring it on. Bring it on. We are waiting for you. Bring it on. I don't want Igbotic nisi. Then you know who you're dealing with. Very stupid set of people.
Propaganda and blackmail will not work this time around. We know what we're doing. We are so focused.
Come out.
We cannot be distracted. Complete.
Let's go.
going
Let's
back.
stop playing games.
Ahead.
Stop hiding.
We are going.
Yes, I'm Igbo. I'm proud. I'm
Yep.
a proud Igbo mother, and I apologize not. Proud Igbo son, and I apologize not. Proud Igbo boy and girl, and we apologize not. So those of you hiding, pretending to belong to Nigeria, I'm Igbo.
Yes.
And that's the way it's going to stay until the end. We thank you, brothers and sisters. Until next week. We are, for those of you calling me about this campaign materials, we are working on it. It will soon be in a place near you.
Yes.
So give us time. And then if you want to produce it where you are, we don't, like, we're not trying to become millionaires. We're not capitalists. We just want people to know that we are Igbotic and proud and we're not hiding anymore.
Yes.
So those of you calling us tribalist, in the more list, yes, I need list to go on. We have listed ourselves as Igbotic.
We have labeled it. Proper labeling. Igbo. Igbo Gade.
Yes,
Go figure.
Igbo Gade indeed. So get over yourself, people. Get over yourself. We are coming out.
Yep.
Until next week, brothers and sisters, help us to share this information across the board. We will see you next time. Work is going on. We are super encouraged. Even Facebook agreed that we had 500 views the other day. I'm like, really? I thought it was 5. So whatever you do, do not breathe coconut head. Put something in your brain so that when you're speaking, you will make sense.
Don't be coconut head, though.
Coconut head, okay? You all take care. We love you guys that much. We will be back next week.
Bye.
Bye.